All right, so the present progressive, or el presente progresivo, new verb tense that we're working with, kind of present tense, kind of something else, just a little mixture of both. All right, so the present progressive is the verb tense that you use when you're talking about what you're doing right now. So, for example, I am singing, we are going, he is doing. So what do all those phrases have in common? It has singing, going, doing. The ing right there. That is what really gives that away. That's what makes it unique, which shows all of them are the same. So anything with ing, with am or are or is in front of it, is going to be the present progressive. All right, so to form the present progressive in Spanish, you use a form of estar. So you're going to use the present tense of estar, which you might not remember, but just to jog your memory, we'd have estoy, and then we'd have estás. So see if you can figure out all the forms of estar. All right, well, here they are for you. So if you did not know all of your forms, now you do. You have no excuse. So the big thing that I think students are going to forget about are the accents, like on estás and está, estáis and están. So make sure that you know where the accents go. You know these forms of estar, because if you get this part wrong and not the other, it's going to be all wrong. It's not going to be partial credit. So present tense, estar, want to make sure you know. All right, so to form the present progressive, we had a star, so we're going to have that. So let's say we're saying something about what I am doing. So we'd have estoy. Then we're going to take whatever's being done. So if we wanted to say I'm walking or I am eating, we would take these two verbs. So far we have estoy and something to do with these two verbs. You're going to remove the ending. What that means is if we had the verb caminar, we're going to take off the ending. So we're just left with camin. If we had comer, which is right here, we take off the ending, and we're just left with com. So far, we have estoy plus camin and com. All right, so add ando if it's an AR verb, or yendo if it's an ER IR verb. So that means we'd have estoy, and then we'd have camin, which becomes caminando. Okay? If we were using it with comer, like I'm eating, it'd be estoy comiendo. Because comer is an ER verb, so you're going to add yendo, whereas caminar is an AR verb, so you add ando. So together, these sentences are done. We have estoy caminando, which means I'm walking, and estoy comiendo, which means I'm eating. All right, so how do we translate she is talking? Go ahead, take a second, see if you can translate that whole thing. All right, so here we have the answer. We have ella, which is she, está, which is the form of estar, and then we have hablando, which is hablar, take off the ending, and we add ando, so hablando. She is talking. So go ahead and translate these. If you're watching on Edpuzzle, it's going to go ahead and stop here and ask you to translate them, and then I will show the answers. If you're just watching the video at home, go ahead and pause it, see if you can figure them out. All right, so here are the translations. Sorry, they're a little messed up as far as the order goes, but they are singing, what are you doing, she is writing, y'all are dancing. Now, y'all, there's two forms because you could either do ustedes or you could do vosotros, whichever one you chose. So están bailando or estáis. All right, irregulars. There's always going to be irregulars when it comes to any verb, any conjugation in Spanish. Okay, so the first thing is you can't have three vowels in a row. Okay, so that leads us to the verb leer. Okay, if we want to say I am reading, we know that estoy is I am, and to say reading, we're going to take off this ER and we're going to add yendo. So that leaves us with leyendo. But what did I just say? We can't have three vowels in a row, and we have three right there. So there's my example. I am reading. What you do is instead of writing it like this, you change the I to a Y, and it becomes estoy leyendo with a Y right there. So it's pronounced the exact same way, but it doesn't use three vowels in a row. So that's how that would work. There are quite a few verbs that fall into this category, so I'm going to give them to you. So traer, leer, creer, caer, oír. And any verb that ends with UIR, like construir, destruir, influir, you'll see plenty, but these you definitely want to write down because these ones will always change to Y in the ondo y endo form. All right, so go ahead and see if you can just figure out what these ones would be. So just take a second. Here are our answers. Oyendo, trayendo, creyendo. So we have the I to Y happening. Second set of irregulars, stem changers that end in IR. So see if you can remember a few stem changers, verbs in the present tense that end with IR and they stem change. A few examples would be pedir, dormir, servir, repetir, preferir. There are plenty that you could think of. What happens with these is these verbs will stem change in their ondo y endo forms. So that means the stem, which is the E here, E, U, it's going to change, but not quite how you're used to it changing. They only change from I to E and O to U. So you know how with dormir, you're used to the O changing to a UE, but it's only going to change to a U here. So what that means is if we take dormir and we want to do the ondo y endo, it's D-U-R. M-I-N-D-O. Okay? If we took pedir, pedir is only E to I to begin with, so it would be pidiendo. Now that I'm looking at this, it looks like it's backwards. It's not E to I, or I to E, it's actually E to I, so I'm really sorry about that, because we know pedir changes to an I here. All right, so see if you can figure out the ondo y endo forms of these. And these are the answers for those. Okay, so they're a little out of order, not out of order, but off center, but it's fine. So just check that. So present progressive, gonna require lots of practice. There's already a practice in Conogemos. It's not the preterite one, obviously, it's the present progressive. Click on that, 5 minutes tonight, practice. There's also a Quizlet. There's another activity on Schoology. So as long as you put in the time, this should not be a difficult verb tense for you. So that's the present progressive.